How much more do you want from me?
More.
How much more successful do you want me to be?
More successful.
How many records can my records break?
More records.
But I'm the best.
But are you a different animal and the same beast?
What the does that mean, Kobe Bryant?
You're welcome.
What the is he talking about?
I wanted to dedicate that intro to Kobe Bryant and his daughter, as well as the other victims as well that were tragically killed in a helicopter accident yesterday. We may make a separate video, but you know, it's a tough time for all of us and a lot of us, and I just wanted to put that out there and dedicate the intro to him. However, the Royal Rumble was yesterday, and to be honest with you, it was a pretty good show. Not perfect, but we're going to talk about everything in this Royal Rumble. This is your Royal Rumble review, and this is the #1 place to be. And, oh man, you know, I got almost a heart attack in the last 2 minutes of the men's Royal Rumble match because I thought that Vince McMahon would be demented enough, because we've seen it before, to have Roman Reigns win the damn Royal Rumble. And Lord, were we saved. The match order of the Royal Rumble was spectacular, and let me tell you exactly why. There was no way in hell that the Royal Rumble was going to end with Charlotte standing up top, because we know exactly how that would have went. And they knew that Drew McIntyre was a fan favorite and that they wanted to put Drew McIntyre into the spotlight of winning the Royal Rumble, and that's exactly what they did. They had Drew McIntyre win the Royal Rumble, and the men's Royal Rumble was honestly a good Royal Rumble. We saw a decent amount of surprises. Same thing with the women's. We saw surprises. You know, I wasn't really quite fond of the ending in the women's Royal Rumble, but we saw a lot of surprises. So, and we saw some undercard matches that were pretty decent as well. So, ladies and gentlemen, I do not have every type of entrant here. I'm not going to list every entrant in the Royal Rumble. To list every single entrant in the Royal Rumble, I would have to be out of my mind. I have notes for the show. They're not as prevalent as maybe the other notes would have been, but this is your Royal Rumble review, and like I said, ladies and gentlemen, let's get it started. I do not have pre-show. The show was about 4 hours, which is the standard for Royal Rumble events and WWE pay-per-views now, which are honestly starting to become 3.5 hours long. If you notice, some of them are ending really early. But the match that opened up the show, and I think that this was okay, and this match was decent. We've seen Roman Reigns and Baron Corbin fight 85 times, and Vince thought that number 86 would be the gem. And it was a better fight than we're used to. This was Roman Reigns versus Baron Corbin in a Falls Count Anywhere match to kick off the Royal Rumble yesterday, live from Minute Maid Park, home of the cheaters. And it was a decent match. You know, it didn't knock your socks off, but if you've seen one Falls Count Anywhere match, you've seen most of them. Roman Reigns wasted no time. Corbin was on his throne, and he wasted 0 time, like I just mentioned. He went right after the guards, or whatever have you, that were carrying the throne, and he picked up Corbin. There was a part in this match as well where Corbin picks a Superman punch, attempt from Roman Reigns, and puts Roman Reigns through the announcer table. So we are now on the outside. You knew a Falls Count Anywhere match was not going to last in the ring. They were continuing to fight outside. There was another spot where Roman Samoan dropped Corbin onto a table. Now, we were in the crowd. We were in the crowd at this point. Outside of it, Corbin did kick out, which we did expect. And about halfway through this match, all of a sudden, here comes Robert Roode and Dolph Ziggler. Now, you knew damn well, I didn't expect Roman Reigns to win this match, and he didn't, but, or he did, I'm sorry. I did not expect Roman Reigns to win this match because I thought they were going to the standpoint of let's have Roman Reigns lose, not clean, to Baron Corbin, and we'll have him win the Rumble. WWE actually was one step ahead of us. So, and that's a very rare thing because, you know, we have all of these outsiders, all of these dirt sheets, and all of these things. I don't know what kind of sources you guys listen to, but it's very hard to keep a secret, especially in the WWE world nowadays. So, the Usos come out to even the odds and to assist. Roman Reigns throws Corbin into a porta potty, which he was able to escape and flipped it. Corbin did escape. Now we are at the top of the dugout, and if you notice in the dugout, we've got some trash cans. Why do we have trash cans? Because they were used to give the Houston Astros a unfair competitive advantage during the MLB season. and I thought I could have swore I saw an electronic device somewhere, but maybe I was wrong. Anyways, we're on top of the dugout, and I made a prediction towards the end of this match that Roman Reigns was going to spear Baron Corbin off of the dugout. I don't know how that would have went, because that could have been very bad. Anyways, they're on top of the dugout, and Baron Corbin is in complete control at this point. He's using chairs, and he's just beating the crap out of Roman Reigns, and we know what that means. That means let's set up Roman to be the hero. Set up Roman to be the hero. Reigns hits a Superman punch. Then he hits the spear right off the dugout. It didn't go off the dugout, but it was onto the side. And 1, 2, 3, Roman Reigns gets the victory over Baron Corbin. This was a decent match. Again, if you've seen one, you've seen them all. If you're one of those people that are going to go back and watch the Royal Rumble, but you're not quite sure what you want to watch, this is not a match you need to see. The ending was a little bit cool. Again, it would have been really dope if it was off the dugout, but that could have produced some pretty bad injuries. But Roman Reigns wins. Backstage we go. We got Kevin Owens and Samoa Joe. Kevin says he has a good track record in Houston, and he says that he's going to throw Rollins over and get the win. Samoa Joe says he agrees, but don't get in the way of his dream either. So clearly you see right there that Samoa Joe is agreeing with Kevin Owens, but he also knows that he wants to win as well. And that is the mantra of every man in yourself. Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville are backstage, and they say that they are both winning the Royal Rumble. Well, unfortunately, neither of you won shit. The next match comes, and I think this was a good place order. It was the Women's Royal Rumble. Now, we're going to go over some of the entrants again. You're going to have to try to find this along. There are going to be some eliminations that happen that don't quite follow suit with exactly what we're saying. But Alexa Bliss, if I'm correct, was the very first entrant in the Women's Royal Rumble. Nikki Cross also came in as well. Lana came out, and she was using the microphone to talk about herself. Nobody cares. That's very important there. And we got a surprise. Number 6, Mercedes Martinez comes out. And we've got a couple of women in the ring. Nobody was eliminated right away in the Women's Royal Rumble. Lana did eliminate Liv Morgan, who was an entrant. Now, Mandy Rose was in this, and she was getting thrown over the top rope. And onto Otis's body. This was great. The crowd loved this. And it landed onto Otis into a upper kind of position. And Otis was saving the day. The crowd loved it, and I think that was a great spot. Bianca Belair was also in this match. Mandy was pulling the hair of Bianca to try to eliminate her. Mandy was thrown out. Now, this is where Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville both had gotten eliminated. Mandy was thrown out. Otis caught her, but then Sonya Deville was also thrown out, and that was too much weight, which I don't believe. But for Otis, and they both were eliminated, and that was, again, too much weight, and they fell onto Otis. So we're going to see where this Otis thing continues, but Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville were both eliminated at this point. Bianca Belair was tearing it up. She had 8 eliminations in this match. She did eliminate Alexa Bliss as well, which was great. They were both standing on the outside apron, threw her against the ring post, and out Alexa Bliss went, and that was where Bianca was. Number 17 in the entrant comes up, and Naomi's back. That's great to see her. Her hair was a little bit different than what we're used to seeing, but it was pretty cool to see Naomi come back as well. And number 18 was another one. Now, I had already said that before the Royal Rumble took place that we were going to see Edge. We saw Beth Phoenix at 18, and she got roughed up in this match a little bit. She had a bit of a cut. Her hair was red. But Beth Phoenix came out at 18. Bianca Belair was outside, and she was kicked off and eliminated by Charlotte Flair. You knew Charlotte was going to come at some point in this match. I mean, let's be honest. So that's that. Number 20 is another return. Maybe not much ring talent, but definitely a lot of eye appeal. And I hope that doesn't get taken the wrong way. Kelly has been I think she's been in a lot of Royal Rumbles over the years. She did a couple of moves, nothing crazy. Now, Naomi was jumping. I missed this exact spot, and she was hanging on to the barricade. Now, what I don't understand here is Naomi spent so much damn time outside of the ring. She walked around the barricade onto the table. She took the apron of the table off to make a 3-inch jump to the steel steps. Naomi is one hell of an athlete, but is there really a need to put steel steps or to put an apron to make a 2-inch jump? I mean, I'm not the best athlete in the world, but one of the things I do have is a very good vertical. I'm not comparing myself to Naomi, but I'm just saying I didn't understand that wasn't... If she would have jumped from the barricade to the apron, I would have been like, holy shit. But she put that down, and this was like 10 minutes long. This was such a long-winded sequence of events, whatever. But Naomi did that. She jumped from the table. Wasn't that impressive, but you know, listen, she's doing it. I'm not, right? Number 29. This is where I got really worried about what was going to happen here, because I was like, why the hell is this happening? Tina, not Tino. Santino Marella comes in at number 29, and that is Santino Marella. He had that period of time in WWE where he was this feminine-like figure, and I don't know why. I mean, the crowd liked it a little bit, but you know, there was two women standing there. He gave himself the Cobra and just jumped over. So that was a complete waste of a potential entrant. 30. We were waiting for her, and now she's here. Shayna Baszler comes in at number 30, and she is ripping through the Rumble, and this looks like this is going to be a very, very ending. Shayna eliminates everybody else that remains. However, she has a face down with Charlotte, and this is where I kind of was sick. Charlotte eliminated Shayna Baszler, and Charlotte is your Women's Royal Rumble winner. Where in God's name was Sasha Banks? It was her birthday. Again, she didn't have to win the Royal Rumble, but she wasn't even in it. It was her birthday. She could have definitely used the Rumble win. There's no reason why she didn't appear. So there must have been, she either had the day off. I don't know how you'd have the day off on the Royal Rumble. But that was one of the things that really puzzled me, that she was not in. Charlotte did not need to win this Royal Rumble. But Vince was not going to give the fans 2 doses of everything you like. So Shayna Baszler did not win. And we'll see where that goes. Charlotte is going to now either challenge, unless the championship changes, Bayley, which I don't want to see, or Becky Lynch, which we've seen plenty of times already. But I have a feeling that two of those women's championships, I have a feeling, I don't know why, that it's going to change. I'm not quite sure why exactly, but I just have a feeling that Becky or Bayley is going to drop their title before WrestleMania, and it's going to alter some things. So that's that, the Women's Royal Rumble. Good match, not the best winner to have chosen. The next match was a match that was going to completely bring you down, and it was probably the worst match of the night. Bayley versus Lacey Evans for the SmackDown Women's Championship. I don't care. You don't care. We don't care. This was a back and forth match. I have no notes for this match. I really don't. I mean, at this point in the show, I was kind of intoxicated. Now, I'm one of those people that when they drink, they remember everything that happens, but they're woozy. You know what I'm saying? So Bayley won off of a top rope move onto Lacey Evans, and she retained her title. No notes for this match because I'm not going to give it the light of day. So Bayley retains her title, and that's that. The next match was surprisingly really, really good, and this was the best showing of Bray Wyatt as The Fiend since we've been back. It was Daniel Bryan versus Bray Wyatt in a strap match for the Universal Championship. This was a damn good match. I don't have that many notes, but this was a really good match. And again, if the undercard matches really were something special on this Royal Rumble, except for, the women's kind of was like, eh. Bray throwed Bryan after he attempted a suicide dive outside the ring. Again, they have a strap attached to them, so Bray can't run. Bray hits the running knee. Bray kicked out, as you expected. And Bryan starts to whip Bray Wyatt with the belt. You knew that was coming. Bryan was given a Sister Abigail, and he quickly kicked out of it. Then, all of a sudden, Bryan hit another running knee, and The Fiend kicked out again. So at this point, Bryan's like, what the hell do I got to do? Bryan ties Bray with the belt. He tries to give him a submission. And that was basically what he was trying to give him submission. Bray caught him, slammed him down, and then he got the pinfall. The notes are a little bit messed up here, but Bray Wyatt did win the strap match against Daniel Bryan. This was a very good match, a lot better than I expected. Bray Wyatt retains the Universal title. That was what was expected. Your final singles match of the night was the Women's Championship, the Raw Women's Championship between Becky Lynch and Asuka. Now, I like the ending sequence of this match, but the match itself is nothing we haven't seen. So the women's matches on the Royal Rumble to me were a bit underwhelming. I just think this match was okay. This was a typical match. Again, I don't have too many notes for this. I got a lot of notes for the men's Royal Rumble, which we're going to get to in a minute. Becky, Asuka was dropped onto her stomach first onto the floor. That definitely looked like it hurt. There was a spot in this match where that happens. The ending sequence of this match saw Asuka attempt the green mist, but she was knocked over. Becky then locked in the disarmor and retained. This was a nice ending sequence. Again, I'm sorry I didn't have too many notes. At this point in the show, I am intoxicated. I have the notes. I know what happened. I remember what happened. But that fireball was hidden. So Becky retains her title. Right thing to do. Exactly what we expected. And that's that. Men's Royal Rumble. This one made me nervous. We saw surprises. In theory, some of these surprises we knew were happening, but in all reality, were surprises. Edge coming back was a surprise, not for me, because I had a feeling that was coming. MVP, now that one, I flipped shit for that. I really liked MVP, and I thought he was really underrated. But anyway, Lesnar comes out at number 1. This is the Men's Royal Rumble. This is the final match of the night, ladies and gentlemen. So let's strap in and let's talk about it. Lesnar comes in at number 1, and exactly what we thought. Lesnar was annihilating every single person that came in the Royal Rumble. And entrants 1 through 9 were pretty much of no importance. Guys were coming in, eliminated, Nakamura, eliminated. And all of a sudden, we get Keith Lee coming out. And this is great, because now we're thinking, well, Keith Lee could be this guy that could not eliminate Lesnar, but stand up to him. So Keith Lee comes out, Braun Strowman comes out, so now we start to get some superstars in the ring. And what do you think happens? Lesnar eliminates Strowman and Keith Lee, but before this, at number 12, MVP returned. That is Montel Vontanius Porter, and we were all balling Sunday night. That was great. I love seeing MVP. You know, I would like to see him around more. If WWE would know how to utilize and book superstars properly, I would probably enjoy him on my television. But that is not something they could do. Ricochet comes in. Ricochet, now this was great. Ricochet was in this Rumble. Drew McIntyre had come in, and now I wasn't picking him as a favorite, but he was someone I really wanted to win that I didn't know was going to win. And oh, I'm going to get to it. I'm so happy about this. Ricochet, this is how we see Lesnar get eliminated. He hits a low blow to Lesnar. Drew then throws Brock Lesnar over, and the whole crowd can relieve themselves because we know that Brock Lesnar is not going to win the Royal Rumble. Thank Christ! Drew dominates. He starts to throw a lot of wrestlers over. And all of a sudden, I believe it was 23 or 24, this is when it got crazy. Once Lesnar got eliminated, we started to see some returns, some NXT call-ups, and I'm like, what the hell is going on in this Royal Rumble? Edge comes out, and he gets a huge pop. Now, my buddy was actually on TV for this, and it was just a great moment. I was so happy to see Edge. He had a beard, but let me tell you something. Edge looked fantastic, and I am praying to God that Edge is now going to be on television, not every week, but more. It's just, that is something that you get from the Royal Rumble. When you sit and you watch it, you're like, all these superstars coming back. I really hope that we can see these superstars going forward, especially someone like Edge. And here comes Matt Riddle, another person that we love to see in the Royal Rumble. And once we start to get to these late 20s, that is when the big boys come out. Randy Orton comes out at number 25. And the Scary Man, Roman Reigns, comes out at number 26. A couple of other guys come out. Seth Rollins is your 30th entrant in the Royal Rumble. Why was Seth Rollins number 30? It was just not necessary. Seth Rollins is your 30th entrant in the Royal Rumble. And AOP is now assisting him and attacking Orton. Rollins is thrown over. The AOP catches him, so Rollins is not eliminated. Rollins attempted to get Roman to help him. He gets Superman punched instead. I really wish I would have wrote down these ending sequences. Now, this was another moment in the match. We saw Edge and Orton both in the match, and it was giving us that vibe of, you know, rated RKO and all the things that they did. And we saw Edge eliminate Orton, and this was great because you know that you, as a wrestler, you can never trust Randy Orton. And Randy Orton's looking like he's getting ready to set the RKO on Edge, and Edge turns around and sees him. He's like, dude, what the hell? So Edge eliminates Orton after his turn. I forgot exactly how Edge got eliminated. Damn, I really wish I would have wrote this final sequence here. And the final two of the Royal Rumble is Roman Reigns and Drew McIntyre. So this is a very scary situation because we start to think Vince is teasing us. He knows we want Drew to win, but he could give us the finger and have Roman Reigns win. He didn't give us the finger. Roman Reigns attempted a Superman punch, was dodged out. Drew McIntyre's Claymore kick throws Roman Reigns over, and the celebration continues all night long. Drew McIntyre wins the Men's Royal Rumble for your man that is going to punch his ticket to WrestleMania. And I'm going to be honest with you, I had my doubts going in, as I always do, but the Royal Rumble was a good show, and I really did enjoy this show. I wish that they would have. We didn't need Shayna Baszler to win, but I thought maybe Ronda Rousey could have been in that Women's Royal Rumble. That could have been something really special. But this was I really enjoyed this show. Now maybe that's because I was drunk, but again, it was a good show. I can go back and watch this now and say, wow, that was a good show. Was it a great show? No. The women's undercard championship matches were not very good. Those were some of the cons. The opening match was okay. Didn't really need to see it. The Daniel Bryan and Bray Wyatt match, I really did enjoy. I didn't watch the pre-show matches, so again, people could fill me in on kind of where we were with those. And that was just really it. The Women's Royal Rumble was good. Didn't like the way it ended, and I thought the Men's Royal Rumble was fantastic. This was a thumbs up show for me. It was not perfect, but it was a thumbs up show, and I'm really impressed, and I'm very happy that Drew McIntyre got this win. And depending on when I get out of work, I might be somewhat interested in watching Raw tonight. And Raw and SmackDown are terrible every week, but I think it's going to be interesting. You know, you're all coming off this wrestling high. This was a very good show, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for watching. Rest in peace, Kobe. And we'll be back next time.